Namaskar students. So in this lecture we'll try to understand multipole expansion of magnetic vector potential. If you see this topic, so this topic is quite similar to the multipole expansion of scalar potential if you go back to the electrostatic. So there also we have done multipole expansion for, let us say, we have localized charge, and then there we have done the multipole expansion, and we have when we did the multipole expansion, then we have observed that we have find out that so there is monopole term, dipole term, quadrupole term, octapole term, so that all kind of poles may be, multipoles may be present in a localized charge. So similarly here, suppose we have a localized current. If we have localized current, then we can do the multipole expansion. If you do the multipole expansion, then obviously in this case also we may get monopole term, dipole term, quadrupole term, octapole term. So many terms can be arises, but as we have learned in our previous lectures that divergence of B is equal to 0, so that means magnetic monopole term does not exist. So it means if we do the magnetic vector potential multipole expansion, obviously the magnetic monopole term should not be there, but we can get dipole term, quadrupole term, octapole term, we can find out. So let us try to do the multipole expansion of magnetic vector potential. So let us say if we start, so let's say we have a localized current. A current is flowing in a, let us say, circular loop. Let's say that I current is flowing, and obviously somewhere origin is somewhere here, and this is point P of observation. Okay, so let's say this localized current from the origin, obviously that have a coordinate x prime, y prime, z prime. So this is basically that is I have written displacement vector. If we write on the current element, so that is displacement vector dl prime, and let's say this is r vector prime. So these distance are from the origin. So origin is somewhere, let us say, here. So this distance is r prime. Okay, obviously if you, obviously we know that this point of observation, that is function of x, y, z. So this distance is, let us say, r vector. If this is r vector and this is r prime vector, so obviously this distance will be if this is theta prime, let us say this point of the observation is making an angle theta with vector r prime and vector r. So this vector, that is distance from the this localized current to the point of observation, that let us say that I have defined the term gamma. Okay, don't be confused. This may be r, some in some book, some maybe some reference book you can get this r vector, but I have written here because I have already taken this is r vector and this is r prime vector. So this I have taken gamma vector. So this gamma vector can be find out, this value, magnitude of this gamma can be find out by applying the cosine law. So we can write the magnetic vector potential at point P. We know that magnetic vector potential at point P is equal to, we have learned that mu 0 upon 4 pi, that is I upon distance, that is I upon distance from the current loop. So this is the I current is flowing in this loop, and this is the distance, that is gamma. So that is integral I upon gamma dl prime. So this is the magnetic vector potential. Okay, so this we have learned. Now in order to find out the magnetic vector potential, this vector A, we have to find out the value of this magnitude of this gamma. So from the cosine law, as we have learned, this can be written as gamma square is equal to r square plus r prime square minus 2r r prime cos theta prime. So I have written gamma square is equal to r square plus r prime square minus 2r r prime cos theta prime. So this is cosine law of cosine, we know. And so from this law, cosine law, law of cosine, we can take r square as a common. So gamma square is equal to 1 upon gamma square is equal to r square in bracket 1 plus r prime upon r का whole square minus 2 r prime upon r cos theta prime in bracket. Okay, so we can define a new quantity, whatever quantity is in bracket. So we can define that gamma square is equal to 1 square is equal to r square in bracket 1 plus epsilon. So this epsilon is obviously equal to, that is r prime upon r square minus 2 r prime upon r cos theta prime. So this is the value of epsilon. So we can write gamma is equal to 1 upon r, gamma is equal to that is r under root 1 plus epsilon. So this is value of gamma. Why I have did this? Because we have to find out the 1 upon gamma, so that is why I have taken this gamma. So where this epsilon is equal to r prime upon r ka square whole square minus 2 r prime upon r cos theta prime, or if we simplify this value of gamma, this value of epsilon, so we can take r prime upon r, that is common. So r prime upon r common I have taken, so this r prime upon r, this becomes n minus 2 cos theta prime. So this is the value of epsilon. When we require, we will substitute this value of epsilon into the gamma. So let us, in order to find out the potential, as it is written, that is 1 upon gamma, so we have to find out the 1 upon gamma. So 1 upon gamma obviously will be equal to 1 upon r, 1 plus epsilon whole bracket 1 by 2, r 1 upon gamma is equal to 1 upon r. Now we can do the binomial, binomial expansion of this. So we can write 1 plus epsilon minus 1 by 2 r 1 upon gamma is equal to 1 upon r, 1 minus 1 by 2 epsilon plus 3 by 2 epsilon square minus 5 by 16 epsilon cube plus something in higher order term. So this we have did binomial expansion, series expansion. If you do now, so if you substitute the value of epsilon, so this is 1 upon gamma. So here we know the value of epsilon. What we have defined? We have defined that r prime upon r in bracket r is r prime upon r minus 2 cos theta prime, that is the value of epsilon. So in each place of epsilon we will substitute this quantity. So if we substitute that 1 upon gamma is equal to 1 upon r, that is 1 minus 1 by 2 in place of epsilon, that is what? That is r prime upon r in bracket again, that is r prime upon r minus 2 cos theta prime. So this is the value of, this is the this first value. Okay, now if you substitute epsilon, value of epsilon in second place, so that is 3 by 8. So this r prime upon r square, r prime upon r ka whole square, and again into, that is r prime upon r minus 2 cos theta prime ka whole square. So this is the second value. Okay, now if you substitute the third value, so that is minus 5 by 16 r prime upon r ka whole cube into, in bracket r prime upon r minus 2 cos theta prime ka whole cube plus higher order term. And okay, now if we are able to, if we separate this r prime upon r, okay, so if you do that, if you see here, if you multiply these two quantities, r prime upon r here and r prime upon r here, so this will give the r prime upon r ka square, and this r prime upon r, if you multiply here, so that is minus 2 will be considered, this minus plus, and this r prime upon r cos theta prime. Okay, so what we are trying to do, we are trying to separate the cos theta prime value. Okay, let us try to separate the cos theta prime value, or we can separate the r prime upon r value. Okay, so r prime upon r value, the one value is here, so that is r prime upon r. If you do that, so this cos theta prime will be there, so that is this is minus plus, and this 2 will be cancelled out, so that is 1 plus r prime upon r cos theta prime plus. Now if you separate the r prime upon r square value, so if you see here, so that is r prime upon r, that is square, and 1 by 2. This one value is here. Another value if you see here, so that is 3 by 8 r prime upon r, and if you do this square quantity, so you will get, that is 2 cos square theta prime. So this will give r prime upon r, and this 2 will be cancelled out, so that will be the some quantity will get. Okay, so this is 2, this will be 4, so 3 by 4, or this cos theta square value will be there. So if you do the separation, this r prime upon r ka square here and r prime upon r ka square here, and this is cos square theta. So this will be -1 and this will be, so what we'll get? We'll get, so here 3 cos square theta. So this r prime upon r ka whole square is equal to multiply by, that is 3 cos, sorry, so in bracket r prime upon r square ka whole square into 3 cos square theta prime -1 divided by 2. So this will be the second r prime upon r square multiplication quantity. Similarly, what we can find out the, if you see that is r prime upon r and this is r prime upon r. So we can find out the power of triple power series. So if you do the triple power series, so what will get? Obviously, if you see here, so that is r prime upon r ka cube, and if you here it will give the r prime upon r and r prime upon r, that is because it is square, so it will give the 4 quantity, power 4. So obviously one quantity will be here and another quantity, if you do that, so one quantity will be get here after multiplication. After multiplication one power will be there. So if you separate that, so we will get, that is r prime upon r to power cube, that is 5 cos theta cos cube theta prime minus 3 cos theta prime divided by 2, that is plus higher order term. Similarly, we can do the series power, we can find out the power series in R for higher order terms also. Now if you substitute the value of gamma, okay, so we know that this value, whatever series we have obtained, so this is quite similar to the Legendre polynomials. So we can, if you try to find out the value of 1 upon gamma, so 1 upon gamma can be written as 1 upon r. If you go back here, if you see, 1 upon r is there, and this 1 upon r I have written, and this whole bracket quantity, this bracket quantity can be written as, so that is summation over n is equal to 0 to infinity in bracket r prime upon r to power n whole power n Pn cos theta prime, where n moves from 0 to infinity. Okay, so this quantity, this Pn cos theta prime, this is known as the Legendre polynomial, and this term already I have introduced when we were learning the multipole expansion of scalar potential. Okay, so if you do that, if you write the Legendre polynomial, so the Legendre polynomials can be written as that PLx, where x may be anything, any arbitrary quantity. So that I have here, if you see in our case, that is x is equal to cos theta prime. So this PL x in bracket x can be written as 1 upon 2 to power L factorial into d over dx to power L into x square minus 1, where L can be from 0 to infinity obviously. So if you substitute the value of L is equal to 0, so that will give the P0 and cos P0 x. So if you substitute here the L is equal to 0, what will get? We will get 1. It means similarly here, if you substitute the n is equal to 0, so this Pn cos theta prime, so that is P0 cos theta prime, obviously that will be equal to 1. So if you go back in present case, so here if you see the first term, that is 1, that is 1. So that means our whatever this Legendre polynomials we have assumed, that is consistent with our assumption. Okay. Similarly, if you choose the L is equal to 1, so P1x, obviously L is equal to 1. So if you do that, so you will get x. Okay. Similarly, in our case, if P1 cos theta prime, if you choose, so in place of x, what we have a cos theta prime. So what we will get? We will get cos theta prime. So second term will be equal to cos theta prime. Then here n is equal to 1. So r 1 upon r outside of the bracket, and then r power r prime upon r and cos theta. So if you go back, second term if you see, that is what? That is r prime upon r cos theta prime. So that means that term, whatever assumption we have made, that is Legendre polynomial we have written, that is exactly matching with our quantity what we have assumed. Similarly, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 4, we can substitute. So only the difference is that here in our case, what we have taken in place of x, we have assumed that is cos theta prime. So just you substitute the value of cos theta prime in place of x, and you can find out the Legendre polynomial for the present case. Okay, so it means, so we have obtained the value of gamma. So 1 upon gamma, so 1 upon gamma is equal to 1 upon r summation over n is equal to 0 to infinity, that is r prime upon r to power n Pn cos theta prime. So if you substitute this value into the vector potential term, so what we have vector potential? We have vector potential, so that is mu 0 upon 4 pi I integral 1 upon gamma dl prime. So that was the vector potential. So 1 upon gamma, in place of 1 upon gamma, we can substitute this value. So this value, what we have obtained, this value, okay. If you substitute, so what we'll get? We'll get, if you see here, so a vector, that is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I, okay, summation over, if you see here in this quantity, what we have? We have 1 upon r here, 1 upon r is here, so r to power 1 is here, and here what we have in summation, we have 1 upon r to power n. So this is this r to power n, and this is r to power 1. So what we'll get? We'll get r to power n plus 1. So that is why if you substitute this value, so what we'll get? Vector potential, that is summation over n is equal to 0 to infinity 1 upon r to power n plus 1, obviously integral r prime, what is left? That is r prime to power n Pn cos theta prime dl prime, okay, for current loop. So that what we have assumed, that is current loop we have assumed, that is localized current, what we have assumed. So now if you do the expansion, n is equal to 0 to infinity, n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we can get the several term of the multipole. So if you do that, so let us say n is equal to 0, if you put the n is equal to 0, so we will get 1 upon r, and here this quantity will be equal to 1, so obviously this will be 1. What we will get? That is mu 0 I upon 4 pi in bracket 1 upon r integral for closed loop, that is dl prime. So this is okay. Similarly, n is equal to 1, if you substitute, so that is 1 plus 1 upon r square, obviously 1 plus 1, that is 1 upon r square, and this will be 1, so integral r prime, and this p1 cos theta, that is obviously p cos theta prime, so that is dl prime. So similarly, if n is equal to 2, so that is this 2 plus 1, that is 3, that is cube, and here that is r prime square, so that is 1 upon r cube integral r prime square, and p2 cos theta prime, that we have written already. So as I discuss here, if you just substitute the value in place of x, you put the cos theta, then you will, that is this will give the p2 cos theta prime, so that is 3 cos square theta prime minus 1 upon 2. So that what I have did. If you put that, what will get? 1 upon r cube integral r prime square, that is 3 by 2, this 1 by 2, that outside of the quantity, so that is 3 cos square theta prime minus 1, that is by 2 dl prime, okay, and plus higher order term we can explore. Now if you look this expression carefully, so obviously this expression should correspond to the monopole term. Obviously this expression should correspond to the monopole term, and if you see this expression, so this expression correspond to the dipole term, that is 1 upon r square term, that is dipole term, and 1 upon r cube term, if you see, so this term correspond to the quadrupole term, okay. But we have learned that divergence of B is equal to 0, that means magnetic monopole term is always equal to 0. So this means this term must be equal to 0. So okay, if this term must be equal to 0, then if you see in terms in case of vector potential, so what will be the dominating parameter, dominating contribution of the in vector potential? So what we have written here, we have written that vector potential for any localized current, that can be written in terms of monopole term, dipole term, quadrupole term, octapole term, all multipole terms will contribute to make a magnetic vector potential. But we know divergence of B is equal to 0 means magnetic monopole term is equal to 0. So in absence of magnetic monopole term, obviously then dominant term will be the dipole term in vector potential, okay. So in magnetic vector potential, the dipole term will be the magnetic dipole vector potential, that will be the magnetic dipole terms will be the dominating in the vector potential term. Now if you see, so it means that we have to find out the magnetic vector potential for a dipole term. So this was the monopole, because this becomes 0, then we can find out the magnetic vector potential due to a dipole. So if we try to find out the magnetic vector potential for dipole or quadrupole or octapole, we can do several calculations for other also, but here we will do only the calculation for the dipole term. If you do that, so we require some calculations. If you write the magnetic vector potential for dipole, so I have written a dipole r, that is magnetic vector potential at some point r due to dipole, obviously. So this term become equal to 0. So if you write the for dipole, and other term will be neglecting, so a vector r is equal to, that is 1 mu 0 upon 4 pi I 1 upon r square integral r prime cos theta prime dl prime. Obviously this will be the term, so that what I have written. If you write, so mu 0 upon 4 pi I upon r square integral r prime cos theta prime dl prime, so that will be the dipole vector potential due to a dipole. Now if you look this, so here r prime cos theta prime is there. It means we can write this quantity in terms of unit vector. If you see here in the diagram, so if you go back into the diagram, so what is diagram? That is this diagram. So let us say this is r vector, r prime vector, and this is the r vector. Obviously unit vector of r vector will be along this direction, and r prime vector is along this direction. So r magnitude of r prime cos theta prime, that can be written as r prime vector into unit vector along r vector, so that r unit vector. So that with the dot product, so that means this cos theta will be absorbed within the dot product. So if you do that, so what will get? Obviously we will get this quantity, so that is mu 0 upon 4 pi I upon r square integral r unit vector dot product with r prime vector into dl prime. Okay. Now this cos theta prime is absorbed within this dot product, that is r unit vector dot product with r prime vector. Okay. So this is the magnetic vector potential due to a dipole. Now in order to explore the further possibility of this magnetic vector potential, again we have to go back to the Griffith's first chapter. So in Griffith first chapter, if you see the last problem of the Griffith, okay, so there is a theorem that is given as a problem in Griffith book, and we have to solve. If you do the solution, and that problem is, what is the problem? It is given that prove that line integral of closed path, line integral of a closed path of dot product of two vector, let us say vector c vector dot product with r vector. So line integral of dot product of two vector, that is always equal to cross product of area vector and vector c. So if you see here, that is here vector c vector is there and dot product with r vector. R vector is position vector. Okay. So if you have a vector field, let us say if you have a vector, and if you take the dot product of that particular vector with the position vector, and if you do the closed line integral of closed path, so that will be always equal to the cross product of area vector multiplied by that particular vector, that is vector c. Okay. So this is given as a problem in Griffith first chapter. So that means this can be written as a vector cross c vector. Here position vector is absorbed and this integral is also absorbed. So that this whole quantity, this line integral of closed path of dot product of vector c and vector position vector r dl is equal to vector a cross vector c, where vector a is basically known as the area vector, and this can be written as surface integral of dA vector. Okay. So this a vector can be that a vector is known as the area vector, and this is can be written as surface integral of closed path closed loop, that is a dA vector. Now if you look back to our expression, that is a dipole, vector potential due to a dipole. So if you see here, that is we have a line integral of closed path dl prime, that is r unit vector upon r prime vector. Here also we have two vector quantity, dot product of two vector quantity. So but what we have in present case, in place of c vector, what we have vector r unit vector. In place of c vector we have a r unit vector, and in place of r vector what we have we have r prime vector. That is the difference. डिफरेंस क्या मिल रहा है आपको? तो इस क्वांटिटी अगर ये हम लोग देखें, दैट इज लाइन इंटीग्रल ऑफ क्लोज पाथ ऑफ डॉट प्रोडक्ट ऑफ टू वेक्टर, दैट इज आर यूनिट वेक्टर डॉट प्रोडक्ट विथ आर वेक्टर प्राइम इंटू डीएल प्राइम. इस एक्सप्रेशन को अगर हम इससे कंपेयर करें तो क्या अगर देखें तो हमारे पास जहाँ पे डीएल प्राइम है वहाँ पे डीएल है, जहाँ पे आर वेक्टर है वहाँ पे हमारे पास आर प्राइम वेक्टर है, जहाँ पे वेक्टर यहाँ पे सी वेक्टर है तो वहाँ हमारे पास आर यूनिट वेक्टर है. ठीक है, इसका मतलब कि हमारे इस वेक्टर को, हमारे वेक्टर पोटेंशियल वाले में जो ये लाइन इंटीग्रल का टर्म है, इस टर्म को हम लोग इस तरीके से लिख सकते हैं. तो वी कैन राइट इन दिस फॉर्म. अगर राइट लिखेंगे तो जस्ट हमको रिप्लेस करना होगा इन क्वांटिटी में. तो हमारे पास क्या है, अगर कंपेयर करें तो हमारे पास सी की जगह पे वेक्टर सी की जगह पे आर यूनिट वेक्टर है, और वेक्टर आर की जगह पे आर प्राइम वेक्टर है, और डीएल की जगह पे डीएल प्राइम है. बट ऑल दिस डीएल प्राइम एंड दिस इंटीग्रल विल बी ऑब्जर्व. तो व्हाट वी कैन, दैट वी कैन गेट ए वेक्टर ए क्रॉस वेक्टर सी. तो इफ यू राइट, तो हियर वी कैन राइट लाइन इंटीग्रल ऑफ क्लोज पाथ आर यूनिट वेक्टर डॉट प्रोडक्ट विथ आर वेक्टर प्राइम into dl prime. So that will be equal to, obviously that is a cross c. A is equal to what we have area vector. Okay, so we have to define what we have area vector. So if you write, so we can write, obviously if you write that, so we can write a cross c. Here a, that will be equal to r prime. Okay, so that is r prime vector cross product with r unit vector. So that is c vector. So c vector is r unit vector. So this r unit vector, and this vector r vector. So that r vector is replaced by this r prime vector. Okay. So that is r prime vector. So that is r prime vector cross product r unit vector. Where this r, I have written r prime vector. Basically this should be a vector. This should be area vector. I have written actually wrong. So this should be a cross c, na? So that is a cross c. Area vector. So it means that this I have written r prime vector, this is basically area vector. So this area vector can be replaced by this vector. So here it should be area vector, it should be a vector, because this r prime, this r vector is absorbed here in a, this r prime, r vector is converted into area vector. So this r prime vector should be converted into area vector. So this should be area vector. I have written wrong. Okay, so this can be written as area vector. This is area vector. So this area vector is equal to area surface integral of area vector. So that is surface integral dA prime cross product. Okay, because here we have prime, obviously here area vector will be prime. Obviously area vector will be prime. That is I have written r prime. So that r prime is basically area vector. Don't confuse. Okay, cross product with r unit vector. So that is r unit vector. Now this is cross product. If we change the position in cross two vector in cross product, so this minus sign will become. So we can write this r unit vector minus r unit vector cross product, that is surface integral of dA prime. Okay, so this means that in our vector potential term, this surface line integral of r unit vector dot r vector prime dl prime, in place of this what we can write? We can write minus r unit vector cross product with surface integral of dA prime vector. Okay, or obviously if you change the position, that plus sign will be there. So we can write this quantity. Now if you substitute these two values in place of this quantity, in place of this we can substitute this value. So if we substitute, what we can write? A dipole means magnetic vector potential due to a dipole, that can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi I upon r square in place of this, what we can write? We can write surface integral dA prime vector cross product with r unit vector. So that is surface integral dA prime vector cross product with r unit vector. So I hope you understood what I have explained. मैं ऐसा उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आपको समझ में आया है. यहाँ पे एक्चुअली जो हमने r प्राइम वेक्टर लिया है, ये r प्राइम वेक्टर क्या है? ये r प्राइम वेक्टर बेसिकली एरिया वेक्टर है. ठीक है, जैसे यहाँ पर r वेक्टर एरिया वेक्टर में कन्वर्ट हुआ, वैसे ये r प्राइम वेक्टर एरिया वेक्टर में कन्वर्ट होना चाहिए. बट हमने यहाँ पे a की बजाय r वेक्टर लिखा है. और ये एरिया वेक्टर किसके बराबर? ये एरिया वेक्टर सरफेस इंटीग्रल ऑफ डी ए वेक्टर है. इसीलिए हमने यहाँ पे इस r प्राइम वेक्टर की जगह हमने सरफेस इंटीग्रल ऑफ डी ए वेक्टर प्राइम लिख दिया है, डी प्राइम वेक्टर लिख दिया है. ओके, सो इफ यू डू फर्दर कैलकुलेशन, तो व्हाट वी कैन गेट मैग्नेटिक वेक्टर पोटेंशियल ड्यू टू डाइपोल इज इक्वल टू म्यू 0.4 पाई इंटू r 1/r square. Now this I can be absorbed with the integral. So I have written I surface integral dA vector dA prime vector cross product r unit vector. So this is dA prime vector. Okay, don't confuse dA prime vector, that is. So now I will define a new quantity here. Will define a new quantity here. Actually I have already defined a new quantity that is known as the magnetic dipole moment when we have solved the problem of magnetic field due to a circular loop. So this I into surface integral of a dA vector, dA prime vector, that is defined as a magnetic dipole moment. So that m vector, small m vector. So this small m vector is equal to I into surface integral of dA prime vector. Okay, it means the direction of the magnetic dipole moment. If you see here, so this current is a scalar quantity and this area is a vector quantity. It means the direction of this magnetic dipole will be along the area direction, area vector direction. Remember, so always remember, if you consider the circular loop, so if you consider circular loop, so circular loop obviously the area vector will be pointing normal to the surface of the circular loop. So that is why magnetic moment will be along the z axis. Okay, so I will show some examples. I will show some maybe example, maybe in coming lecture. So this m vector will, but remember here m vector will be always along the area vector. Okay, so if you write this quantity in substitute in place of I integral dA vector prime, so that m, so what we will get? A dipole means magnetic vector potential due to dipole is equal to mu 0/4 pi m vector cross product with r unit vector. So that is m vector cross product with r unit vector divided by this r square. So this is r square. So this is the magnetic vector potential due to dipole is equal to mu 0/4 pi m vector cross product with r unit vector upon r square. Now if you go back to the electrostatic, so this is what we are doing, that is magnetostatic. If you go back to the electrostatic, if you try to see the scalar potential due to a dipole, so that what we have got observed, we have got potential due to dipole at some position r, that was equal to 1/4 pi epsilon 0 p vector dot product with r unit vector upon r square. So that means this is complete analogy with the electrostatic, what we are observing. This is complete analogy with the electrostatic and magnetostatic. There is analogy, but there is difference here. In that case we have defined dipole moment, electric dipole moment. Here we have defined magnetic dipole moment. There it was dot product, here we have a cross product. That is the difference. Okay, so here also if you see m cross r unit vector, here we have dot p dot r unit vector, here we have 1/r square, there also we have 1/r square. So it is very easy to remember. Okay, so now if you remove this cross product m vector cross r unit vector upon r square, or we can write in terms of spherical polar coordinate. So obviously this vector potential will be, let us assume that we have a dipole. So let us say we have a wire. Okay, yeah, we have some dipole, maybe circular loop may be there. Okay, maybe circular loop is there, and obviously because of circular loop we know that current is flowing in a circular loop along this direction. So this area of the circular loop, that will be along the z direction. If the area of the circular loop is along the z direction, obviously the magnetic dipole moment, that will be also pointing along the z direction. So I have just considered a single circular loop which is pointing along because of which a magnetic dipole is created. We have already learned in our previous lectures. So this dipole is pointing along the z direction, and because of this dipole, let us say this is point P of observation at some position at some distance r vector. So if we write, and this r vector, this point of observation r vector is making an angle theta with the dipole, okay, that is theta. So we can write this magnetic vector potential in terms of spherical polar coordinate. The potential at a point that is r theta phi. So if we write in r theta phi, so this is, let us say that is this is x coordinate, and this is y coordinate, and this is z coordinate. Magnetic dipole is pointing along the z direction. So this is point of observation, and this is the, obviously this is making phi angle dipole, okay. Then we write, so we can write a vector that is vector due to a dipole, vector potential due to magnetic vector potential due to dipole, that can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi. Obviously if you take the cross product, that is m sin theta r prime, m sin theta r square. So here that is m sin theta r square. Obviously that is m, this is r, this is r unit vector, and r unit vector is making theta angle with m vector. So that is m sin theta, and this is r square. So this is r square. Now if you see the direction of the vector potential, obviously this vector potential will be the perpendicular to the m vector and r unit vector. If you see at a glance, so this direction of this dipole vector potential due to dipole, that will be always perpendicular to the magnetic dipole vector direction and r unit vector direction. R unit vector is along this direction, and magnetic vector field vector is along, magnetic dipole is along z unit vector direction. Obviously the dipole vector potential due to dipole, that will be always along the phi unit vector in terms of spherical polar coordinate. So this a vector is along the phi unit vector. So that means this magnetic vector potential is basically circulating, that is azimuthal, that is circulating, okay. Obviously that is obvious. We know that magnetic vector potential is in the direction of current. If we consider a circular loop, in circular loop current is flowing in a circle, that is in circumferential, obviously the magnetic vector potential will be also along this direction, that is along the phi direction. So that is phi. Now if we try to cross check whether, if we try to find out, this is the magnetic vector potential due to a dipole, in order to find out the magnetic field due to dipole, and this problem we have not done earlier, okay. Magnetic field due to a dipole we have not done earlier. Remember, I have not done any problem in which we have tried to find out the magnetic field due to a dipole. I am now introducing for the first time in our lecture, that magnetic field due to a dipole. So we can find out, we know the magnetic vector potential due to a dipole, and then we can find out the magnetic field due to a dipole. So magnetic field due to a dipole at some position r, that can be written as del cross r, del cross a. We know the del cross a is equal to b. So that del cross a, where the, now it means if you take the cross product of this expression, then we can get the magnetic field due to a dipole. But here we have to take del operator in a spherical polar coordinate. If you do that, what we will get? We will get mu 0 upon 4 pi m in bracket 2 cos theta r unit vector plus sin theta unit vector. So this is the magnetic field due to a dipole. I have written as a assignment. So now I request all student who is listening my lecture, you have to find out this expression. Just what you have to do, you have to take the curl of this vector potential, and then this will be the magnetic field due to a dipole. And remember, this is very, very, very important result. Now if you go back again in electrostatic, if you remember, so in case of electrostatic, we have tried to find out the electric field due to a dipole. So there what we have observed 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. In place of m, there it was p, and in bracket quantity that was same, that is 2 cos theta r unit vector plus sin theta theta unit vector. It was the same. So that means again this magnetic field due to a dipole and electric field due to a dipole, that is quite analogy. They are moving parallel. So this is very important assignment to all of you, and you have to submit this assignment, or you can write your answer in my YouTube channel that okay sir, I have done and this result is consistent, this result is correct. Okay, so this magnetic field due to a dipole, that is always equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi m into, in bracket, that is 2 cos theta r unit vector plus sin theta theta unit vector. So this is the magnetic field due to a dipole. Please submit the assignment. Okay, please do the assignment and tell your answer in YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Thanking you very much for listening. Thanks a lot. So in next lecture, we will try to solve few numerical problems, few problems related to the magnetic dipole moment. Okay, thanking you very much.